Are you ready to be turned into people who cannot be prayed upon? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? We cannot be prayed upon. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
And good evening, and I'm not G. He's off tonight, so it's me and Andrew. We've taken over Conservative Curmudgeon Studios. It's just us, and we're gonna trash the place while we're here. Don't tell him. Just kidding. All right. Anyway, so yeah, G is off. He's on, and he's doing his summer stuff. So he's been slammed and otherwise being treated like the indentured servant that he is where he works. So we've taken over for the night. It's 4th of July Eve, Independence Day Eve, and you're listening to the Conservative Curmudgeon live right here on KLRNRadio. I'm Rick Robinson. He's Andrew, and hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. It is Chat Lives Matter Day here on KLRNRadio, and we're going to get this stuff kicked off here. So, Andrew, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I am so America.
Marga.
Before we get too far along, is Z listening? I am Groot.
I don't know if she is yet or not.
She's probably not. She had a pretty good cast after your show this afternoon. I listened to it. She did a lot of good talking. I think she needed to get some things off her chest, and she did. And I didn't pick on her once. I'm showing maturity.
You didn't pick on her once?
Well,
not even once?
Not
Are you
once.
sure? I'm not sure I believe you. Unfortunately, we have no proof that you didn't pick on her because she deleted it. So.
Well, you know, it works that way.
So yeah,
I can lie now.
Your charity went unnoticed, sir, and there's no proof.
No proof except my word, and my word is my bond, and it's as faithful, and you can trust it as much as you can, Joe Biden.
Okay. I'm not sure that would have been the stance I went with, but okay. I mean, if that's where we're going with it, then you feel free. I mean, you go right on ahead. I'm not sure that would have been the take that I would have gone with, though. But yeah, speaking of Joe Biden, the rats are trying to find their way off the ship, and unfortunately, I think they're all boarded in.
Well, yeah, and PJ Media from Matt Margolis, he dropped something this afternoon at 20 after 4 that says, "But why Biden can't drop out," and it's actually kind of truthful. And I'll drop this in the chat for people. They can copy and paste it over to where they need to, so they can read it. But no, he talks about it here that if Biden drops out of the campaign by saying he cannot do the campaign because of mental and his degradation, his dystopia, or whatever, then how is he staying president?
Well, yeah, he would have to basically resign if he did that, which is why he wanted it.
Yep. And that. I mean, he writes in here, Biden dropping out would be a de facto admission of his inability to serve. This isn't just about the campaign trail, it's about the Oval Office. If Biden can't handle the rigors of campaigning, why should anyone, even those who have been defending him for years, believe he can still handle the demands of presidency?
Well, I mean, everybody knows that he can't handle them, though. That's the problem. I mean, we all saw it right in front of us. A week ago yesterday, or a week ago tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. You know. But remember now, his closest advisors, Jill and Hunter, are keeping him on. Plus the fact I think they're not going to let him resign because of a tweet I saw yesterday that Aggie retweeted. One pro in the Kamala argument is imagine Hillary Clinton living to see a woman president and it's not her.
Now, I would say that would be about my only selling point for this whole thing, but I don't think we can survive another Democrat for 4 more years because that's the thing. They all carry the same water. So,
Well, but if Kamala becomes president now, right? Biden resigns. She's a woman president. That's not Hillary.
oh, I guess you have a point there. I didn't really think about that part.
I mean, it could be quite good. It'd be hilarious though.
Oh, there would be fireworks going off everywhere. I think the funniest thing for me has been watching the evolution of he's Biden, he's our man. If he can't beat Trump, nobody can. And I was like, maybe
Anybody,
we should,
anybody could beat him.
maybe we should see if we could, And then my favorite thing, and this was a take from James Carville. We should do a speed primary before the convention and pick a new candidate. I mean, the thing that is so disingenuous about him saying that though, it is this, because the only way that they get to retain any of the war chest that they've built for the campaign is if the ticket gets flipped,
Kamala.
or if Kamala basically just moves him out of the way and then they appoint a new vice president. And I said this, or a new vice presidential candidate. I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again just in case she happens to be listening. If that does happen, Miss Harris, as much as I don't like you, don't make it Hillary. Arkansas is a thing. Don't make it Hillary. Just saying.
There's a reason there's a meme.
Yeah, it's an actual thing.
All I'm going to say is look it up. Talk to Jeffrey Epstein.
I mean, you can't really do. But have you heard though? There's a bunch of crazy people that are now saying that they think Trump was the one that put the hit on Epstein because of his connection with him. And I'm like, Trump threw him out of Mar-a-Lago a long ass time ago, so I don't really see that happening.
My whole matter of the thing is these people know who was Epstein's clients, and you think in the last 8 years that Trump being a client wouldn't have come out?
I mean, you would think. I mean, Lord knows there's tons of people that would be like, what are we talking? No. I mean, come on. With everything, they've tried to take that man's life apart, piece by piece, bit by bit, and if there was any truth to that at all, it would just be insane.
I know.
But I mean, what do I know? I'm just a crazy person.
Well, yeah, we all are. That's the thing to remember. We're all crazy.
Crazy? I was crazy once. Put me in a room.
All right.
A rubber room filled with rats. Rats make me crazy. Oh wait, sorry. That's another show. My bad. Anyway, so
sorry.
So what's new in
whenever I hear rats, I always think of Willard.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's new in your world? What's going on?
In my world, I spent a year's salary in fireworks for my granddaughters this week.
As it should be.
And we're supposed to be shooting them off tonight. We're having a block party tonight.
Oh, that's right. So, you are going to be shooting fireworks off later. So I guess sliding earlier probably didn't hurt that either, huh?
Nope, it didn't hurt.
You were like, hey, I get to be done even earlier now. Yay.
And I told my wife, and she's like, good. Okay, thanks, baby. That's all I got was one syllable word. Good.
Well, I mean, there's a reason you spend most of your time on X anymore saying, I am Groot. So,
I am Groot. Hey, Zelda, you did good today.
She doesn't think so say it again. keep having to remind her that at one point I did my show with one person listening for like almost 2 years. And he's not even here anymore. So anyway.
Yeah, I miss Ron too.
Oh, crazy man. I think he would probably be losing his mind right now if he saw everything we were trying to do now with how everything started. He'd be like, what the hell has gotten into you? I lost my mind.
I know he wouldn't. You know what he'd be doing? He'd be cheering you on.
Hooping, hollering, and screaming. I already know.
Yep. He definitely would be.
So I have determined that I need to refresh the stream studio section before I go live anywhere because none of the numbers are showing up now. We have people in the chat now, so obviously I know we're doing better than 0, but I think they're all on my feed because the KLRN feed doesn't have anything on it yet. But I don't know if that's because it's being stupid or not. Oh, no, there we go. Oh, there's 33 over there, and I don't know how many on my side, but usually I can see the numbers on the dashboard, and they're not working. So, yeah, I'm figuring out how this hot bunking stuff needs to work. I probably should have closed.
Whoa. I'm not in the Navy anymore. I don't do hot bunking.
Well, you know, it's not you. It's me because I have to go from studio to studio to studio to keep all 4 hours running. Because I'm always here on Wednesday nights, man. One way or another.
Yes.
Oh. But anyway, so one of the things, and I wanted to talk about this today, and I didn't get to it because I don't know. Usually 4th of July is a bit the week of 4th of July is a bit more laid back for me. I play more music and everything because I can technically do that, and they can't really yell at me much. And if they try, I'm just like, here's my license, go away. So yeah, I play a lot more patriotic music. I let music run longer. Usually do a little bit more fun stuff. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, because I haven't really heard anybody else other than Glenn Beck talking about this, and it's the fact that the entire Democratic apparatus is freaking out right now because Donald Trump still is keeping his VP pick close to the vest. And I'm like, and he should be. Everybody, the only other person I've heard talk about this is Glenn Beck, and he's like, he needs to capitalize and pick now. I'm like, no, he doesn't. Because as soon as he announces that pick, it's going to let whoever's pulling Biden strings know what their next move needs to be. So right now, the fact that he is keeping that as close to the vest as he is making them nuts because you've got one part of the party that is convinced that Biden needs to go. You've got the other part of the party that's pretty sure Biden needs to go. And then you've got the Biden inner circle that's like, hell no, we won't go. So the thing about it is, if Donald Trump was to pick a VP, that would let them know what he's signaling as far as what his plans are. And that would help them decide whether they should stick with Biden or kick his ass to the curb. With as much disarray as they are in right now, they need to stay in that amount of disarray for as long as possible. Because and to me, this is karma, because this is every bit of bullshit and screaming and yelling and pointing and laughing that they did when the Republicans went to war over McCarthy has come back to them in spades because their entire party is imploding. If this goes the way it could go, there may not be a Democratic Party by the time it's done. I don't know. There'll be something else that comes out of the ashes of it, but it's not going to be the Democratic Party anymore because they have ceded everything to the crazy side. And now the crazy side doesn't want to give it up.
Yep, pretty much. And well, I want to say I saw somebody write this about, and I think it ended up on Twitchy about the fact that Trump's not saying anything. He's not doing anything. Right? One, with the VP, and two, he's just not, if you'd have told me before the debate that if Biden come out and looked terrible and dementia ridden and Trump was not going to ride the coattails and firebomb the hell out of that, I'd have laughed at you.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump is a lot of things, but he's not actually stupid. So he's figured out that one of the reasons why he didn't do well at all in 2020 was because of how hard he came at everything, because he was convinced he had it in the bag. And I'm sorry, folks, if it wasn't for a lot of the COVID rules and everything else that they shoved down our throats as far as for election day, he may well have had it in the bag. I mean, I still am hearing from people outside of the country that were like, we track you guys' elections, and when we stopped tracking it, he won 48 out of 50 states. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, and it doesn't matter anymore, because no matter how crooked the election was, even if it was crooked, once the vote was certified, that's it. But the other reason that they are having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week is not only are they still trying to figure out what they're going to do from that Biden just total belly flop right in front of America for everybody to see. I mean, now you've got prominent media figures saying Joe Biden presented himself as the caricature that the conservative media has been painting him as for the last 4 years. And I said, this because it's not a caricature. This is who he is now. This is who he's been for a long time. It wasn't as bad in 20. It was bad in 20. Don't get me wrong. But if you look at videos between 20 and today, he looks positively 30 years younger by comparison between 2020 and 2024. And that's part of one of the things that I kept trying to say to everybody when they're like, "Oh, this needs to be Trump's turn." Blah 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 blah. Like, we have all seen presidents age 20 years in 4 years in office. Trump's already had
Barack Obama.
I mean, dude, seriously. Like, do you remember, like, when he first got elected and he looked all young and hip and cool, and then Netflix put out that Bible miniseries, and they managed to find like an older dude that looked almost exactly like Barack Obama, but like 30 years older. And then by the time he left office 8 years later, he looked like the guy that was supposedly the devil in the Netflix special. And all. That's just a little weird.
It was surprising because I hadn't paid any attention, right? Not really. It's not like I try to go on my way and see what the president looks like, but I saw pictures of him or an interview or something with him, and I'm like, holy hell. Because he's the same age as I am. And or he's younger. I'm not sure. He's not. There's not much age difference between me and him, and it's just like, damn, that man aged hard.
Well, I mean, think about it though. It's one of the most stressful, demanding jobs on the planet. You are constantly on. That's why. I mean, remember, 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s, there were all these campaign ads. Who do you want answering the call at 3 a.m.? Biden would be rolling that shit to voicemail at 3 a.m. I mean, do you realize that after the debate, to try to cover for the fact that he had a really bad performance at 9 p.m., they put out a statement like a day or 2 days later that said, well, he's really, really awake and alert from 10 to 4. We really, I mean, somebody needs to like quickly rewrite 9 to 5 and 10 to 4 and make it a political parody and like do it yesterday, because that's 6 hours. Now, granted, 6 hours is a long time for an 81-year-old. I'm not even trying to pretend that it's not. But you just basically told our enemies, do anything you want to do, don't do it between 10 and 4. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, the Houthis, what was it, yesterday? Monday? The Houthis are like, we're going to attack an aircraft carrier. And everybody's like, yeah, don't fuck with our ships. And I'm like, I would think that, but with our military leadership the way they are and the fact of who we have as our president, yeah, they'll fuck with our ships and we won't care. We won't do nothing.
We're not going to do anything. I mean, we've shown that over and over and over again. That is specifically why Putin did what he did. He watched the withdrawal from Afghanistan, and he was like, fuck it, they're not going to stop me. I'm just going to go all in. And that's one of the things that drove me crazy the other day, watching Vindman after the debate. What did Donald Trump do to stop the Russia-Ukraine war for the 4 years he was in office? I'm like, they weren't really doing anything for the 4 years he was in office.
I was trying to figure out what that traitor was trying to point out, because
dude, the invasion happened under Obama and they hadn't really done anything since, because when Trump got into office and he started, I mean, The thing about it is, and everybody hates when I make this comparison, but Trump's foreign policy reminds me a lot of Reagan's because Reagan gave no fucks. He literally
Yep.
did not. I remember the one time, and everybody was. This is when everybody started being concerned that he was like becoming dementia ridden, etc. When he's like sitting there doing a mic test or something, and they're freaking out because I guess they forgot to tell him that that it's actually broadcasting. So he's just like, let him know in 5 minutes we're bombing, and everybody's like, oh my god, I can't believe he just said that on a hot mic. And then somebody interviewed him about it like a couple of years after he was out of office. He said, yeah, I knew the mic was hot. I did it on purpose because I knew they were listening.
But yeah. Well, I don't know. You may not be old enough to remember, but Reagan got elected. It was after the election, but before he was sworn in, Iran released all the hostages.
Oh, I remember. Well, I mean, I don't remember, but I remember hearing about it because they had Jimmy Carter over a barrel, and they're like, "Oh shit, we better let him go." I mean, come on. They built a line into Iron Eagle about it when Doug was pissed off about his dad being captured, and the dude that plays Lamar on Revenge of the Nerds was like, "Hey, Doug, haven't you heard? We got a new president." And they call him Ronnie Reagan.
But yeah, I find it funny because you know that nothing's going to happen.
No, they'll be like, "Oh, don't do that." I mean, that's like right now. I just saw one of our State Department stooges putting out a public decry of the fact that Israel just annexed part of the West Bank. They're like, "We believe this violates international law," and I'd be like, "If I was Israel, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck." These people started this shit, not me.
Well, why are we trying to dictate a country?
Because it's what we always do.
I know we're always into the. We always mess with other countries' politics.
I was going to say, I wish it wasn't what we always do, but it is in fact what we always do, and I wish it was not, but it is.
I know, and we don't have a lot of room to complain about other countries messing with our politics.
Well, no, because now we do it everywhere. I mean,
yep.
That's the whole thing. That's the part that nobody. There's a lot of folks that still aren't saying the quiet part out loud unless they're on our side of the aisle. The person that is doing the most damage to our country right now, or the people, are the Soros family, and they're using all the skills that we let them hone when we were using them to do those things in other countries. We sent them in there to destabilize other regions that we wanted to try to bring freedom and democracy to. And as I got older and I started hearing all this stuff, I was like, eventually when they're done, they're going to take all of this stuff that they figured out and they're going to turn it on us, because this all goes back to a strategy that has existed since World War II. This is why since World War II, there has really been no one that has had the ability to fight a war, to end a war and just end it, because they started putting everybody's economies together, connected behind the scenes. So there's an entire economic spiderweb spanning the globe. So if you do what they did in World War II and bob somebody back to the Stone Age, everybody suffers because everything's interconnected now. And they thought it was going to be this wonderful thing that would stop the next World War, because after World War I, everybody thought there wasn't going to be another one. Then there was another one, and everyone's like, we can't do this again. So we got to figure this out. They're just like, well, we'll start doing, international trade and international commerce and get everybody interconnected in the financial spider web, and we'll use the American dollar to do it, and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. That American dollar being used pretty much everywhere has been the only thing that's been propping us up this entire time. Guess what's been happening since Joe Biden came into office? Take a guess.
Besides the millions of people that crossed the border, 2 wars.
Well, no, I mean, as far as the financial stuff, because remember, we made a decision after World War II that we were going to be the banking center of the world.
Oh, and we've been paying everybody money.
Well, yeah, it's not just that though. So the dollar has been the most used piece of currency for international trade since those agreements started being put together. That is now changing. Saudi Arabia is now
Oh
no
yeah, it's going
longer
to China.
trading on. Yeah, so Saudi Arabia is no longer trading on the oil market using the dollar. There are several countries that are moving away from this. This is the quiet part as to why Joe Biden is screaming and yelling about the Supreme Court blocking him but not being able to stop him, because 99% of these loans that he's forgiven, guess who holds the note?
China.
No, our government does. He is trying to artificially inflate our credit rating because it's already been downgraded twice since he's been in office. And it's dangerously close to being downgraded again, and nobody's talking about it. So if he clears enough debt off the books by foisting it onto me and you, he's hoping that'll keep that from happening. Because if our credit rating gets downgraded again, we're absolutely fucked. If you think everything's expensive now, I mean, you got to remember, we used to have a AAA credit rating. We're down to like single A now.
Yeah, but we can spin that up, right? We gotta get credit to get rid of credit.
Yeah, well, that's what they tell everybody anymore. And the weird thing is, for rich people, a lot of rich people actually do that. I've been doing a lot of research as to how they stay liquid all the time, and it's weird, dude. Like, they'll get these long-term life insurance policies that build money over time, and they'll just lock them into family trust and just leave them there. And then they'll buy new ones for every new family member and just lock them and put those in the name of the trust too, and then lock those in there. And then eventually everybody just has a family bank they can pull money out of. And the weird thing about those things is, even though you've taken money out of it, the interest still grows like you didn't take the money out of it. So you're taking money out that you owe 4% on, but you're getting 8% back on the money like it's still in there. So in essence, you're still making 4%. You don't even have to ever repay it back because eventually it's going to pay itself back. It's the weirdest fucking system I've ever seen. And that's the same thing that they've been trying to do at the federal government level for forever, is rob Peter to pay Paul to keep the interest rates low, because as long as we can keep the interest rates low, our grandkids and our grandkids can pay for it. That is one of the biggest driving factors of our inflation rate that nobody's talking about, is the fact that the United States credit rating for the first time ever has been downgraded in history that I know of since the Depression, because they didn't have credit back then. So as far as I know, this is the only time in history that this has ever happened. And it's not only happened once, but it's happened twice. And nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody's talking about how much that is impacting me and you and driving up prices for every fucking thing. Because, I mean, you've seen what happens. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've had bad credit before. The first time my credit got tanked, I went from having a credit card with like a 4 or 5% interest rate to, they're like, oh, you can keep the card if you want, but it's going to be 23% interest, even if you pay on time. Then if you don't pay on time, it goes to 33%. Credit is one of the biggest scams of all time. It's nothing but communism wrapped in capitalism, and it's just terrifying. But the problem with it is, and it's also an artificial inflator of prices. It's another reason why everything's as expensive as it is. If you look back in the day, you could put like 1 year worth of salary down on a house and have it paid down by a quarter before you ever moved into it. Easy. And then your payment was like 150 to 150, $200 a month. Now with house prices where they are, I mean, I know the median house price right now is $450,000. I only make $75,000 a year. I am currently priced out of buying a new home at that price.
Well, the thing is I look at it because it's also what people are willing to pay.
Yeah, that's too. Now, the other thing that nobody talks about, and this doesn't necessarily impact my area as much as it's starting to impact a lot of other areas, is the scarcity of housing, because now you have all of these extra people that have been pouring across the border for the last 4 years, and they've got nowhere to sleep. And now you've got the government. Now you've got the government trying to put them up. Hell, I just saw another story out in New York City where a bunch of migrants are getting debit cards and food stamp cards again. I was like, I thought they said they were going to stop that program.
Well, they're also, the other thing with the houses is you got people buying them and renting them. Right?
Yeah, well, that's another really terrible thing. There are a lot of people that have made themselves rich by teaching other people how to buy 15, 20 houses, but charging them out the ass to teach them how to do it. And then other people make a decent amount of money off of being able to figure out how to flip 15 and 20 houses and then have their own little rental income network. But the problem with that is that's not about making sure people have affordable housing anymore. It's about a bottom line. This is
Yeah.
another problem that we have. I am a capitalist, but there is a point where capitalism goes too far. When the only thing you're worried about is your bottom line above anything else, that is a problem for me. Because I'm going to be honest, I could probably make 3 or 4 times what I make if I was willing to just go fuck it. If you're willing to pay me, I will hawk any goddamn thing on this network you want me to hawk. But I'm not willing to do that.
Well, that has a lot to do with it. You got houses that are no longer that people that have been bought up by corporations and they're being rented out, or you got people that have bought the houses and they did halfway through the rebuild or whatever, and it's not livable yet, but they can't afford it anymore, and now they're trying to sell it and make the money back. Years
Yeah,
ago, I was looking at buying a house down there in Florida. Had about 30 acres of pine on it, young pine, just planted pine. And about 2 acres of it, 3 acres of it was cleared. The owner wanted like $345,000 for it. And I'm like, it's not worth that. He goes, it will be when all the pine's grown. And I'm like, why am I betting on paying you what it may or may not be worth in 10, 20 years? And people want to buy and they want to sell because they bought into the lie. Okay. And that's a lot of what the housing market was. It was a lie. You can afford this. You can afford this. You can do this. You can hold it for 3 years, 5 years, and then flip it. And you'll make more money. Does no good if there's nobody to buy it and nobody wants to pay the price. And all of a sudden, now you've got an interest payment and a loan payment that is now ballooned 3.5 times because the interest rates went up.
Yeah, that's the other thing is these variable rate mortgages are going to kill everybody. If we don't make a lot of changes, I mean, they're already starting to. But
I love this reverse mortgage that they're trying to sell to the seniors
now. Don't even get me started on those.
And I'm like, really? No.
I am Groot.
Yeah, I am Groot.
I only did that because I just saw Zelda pop back in, so I'm waiting for her to yell at me.
Yeah. Anything I can do to help deteriorate her mental health, I will do it. I am Groot.
I don't know about deteriorating it. I don't think she needs much help in that department. I'm just saying.
But yeah, and taking us off the gold standard when Nixon did that was a big mistake because there's no money in Fort Knox now. There's no gold in Fort Knox.
Oh no, there hasn't been for a long time.
Well, let's stop. I don't need my blood pressure up that high. So what do you think about this Cat 12 hurricane coming into this unprecedented heat wave? God, I can't believe it's so hot. It's like summer.
It's only summer.
Oh, I got everybody telling Zelda, I am Groot.
Nice.
Yeah, I will say this is unprecedented. Beryl is unprecedented as far as we know. And in our records that we've been keeping for hurricanes for I guess the last 75 years or so. Because again, the Galveston hurricane back in 1906 or whatever it was, I don't think they know exactly how strong it was and when it formed or where it formed or all like that. I'd have to look up some history on it, or he can chime in if he's listening. But Burroughs is the first. This is the earliest that they've had a Category 5 hurricane form in the hurricane season in the South Atlantic, in the Caribbean, down where it is.
now she's yelling. She is Groot. Awesome.
I have succeeded. It's not an unpopular opinion, Zelda. It's the
No, I
right
mean
opinion.
it's the right opinion. I mean, but the other thing that nobody really talks about is, of course, we have climate change. It's called seasons.
Uh-huh. But yeah, they have the hurricane, which I'm not sure what they're saying is going to hit Cancun, and then they think it is supposed to go straight, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to go straight and hit the northern part of Mexico there and South Texas around the Brownsville and then sort of towards Corpus. I think it'll actually turn. I think that high pressure system that they keep saying is there is going to kind of move out of the way or disintegrate, and it'll pull, and she'll take a right turn and go up. Now she might go up and hit Houston, and you get some weather, and Aggie gets some weather, or she might just come back around and make a sharp U-turn, turn up the Gulf of Mexico for a little bit, go across Florida, and do a Superstorm Sandy and hit New Jersey.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
And then we got what was the headline? Let me see. What's the headline? It's 110 million people across 21 states under heat alerts.
Dun dun dun.
My wife was asking me this today. She's like, "What is this about?" And I said, "Because people are losing belief that climate change is real, and they can't scare them anymore. So they got to try and do what they can to scare people. You know, Las Vegas is going to have triple-digit high temperatures. Really,
dude, it's
it's a
the
lie.
fucking desert. It's the desert.
I mean, it's like, really? I mean, come on, guys. This is July. I've been in Vegas and it was triple digits and it was November. But I've also been in Vegas and they got 3 inches of snow.
It's just, I don't know. It's all so damn nuts, if you ask me.
Well, it's the problem is there more and more people are realizing that it's a scam. It's not true. Because the biggest example that I always see is they tell us in 12 years, 13 years, we're all going to die and the ice caps are going to be melted and we're going to have continual rain. And it's like, you guys can't predict weather for the next 3 days accurately. You expect me to think you can get 10 years accurate?
Yeah, that's the other thing. How many times have they been wrong? I mean, this is the thing. I mean, you know, which is another reason why I think they've settled on the term climate change. Because remember, in what was it? The late '60s was when they were just figuring out about plate tectonics, and they thought that basically continents were going to fall off and just sink into the ocean until they realized what was going on. Then the '70s, they were assuming we were going to freeze to death.
Well, it even goes back to the 1910s, 1920s. They were talking about climate change, right? I think the world was going to freeze. And then in the 60s, like you said, it was plate tectonics. Because I remember the big scare. They came to the schools, and down there in Florida is going to flip. One side of Florida is going into the ocean, and the other side's coming up.
Yeah, like Guam when they put too many Marines on it or something.
Yeah. Well, see, Guam could do that though. It's not attached to nothing. I mean,
That was good. I
Florida,
gotta give you
we'd
that
have
one.
done that. Yeah, Florida. I mean, what were we going to do? Wind it up and it'd be like a little motorboat out there? Hey, I'm thinking that might be a good idea.
I don't know if you should be winding up America's Wang, bro. Probably not a good plan. Bad things might happen.
We could wind up America's Wang and just say, Mickey, you're free.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, they have no choice now, right? Because none of it's been real. None of it's come true. No matter what they've said, it hasn't happened. It hasn't come true. And then whenever I come across some of the arguments that Orty has with the retarts that he gathers, I always ask, okay, what's an ideal temperature? And I get told that I'm an idiot and they don't know what I'm talking about and they block me. And it's like, what was the problem? I didn't attack you. I just asked you to tell me what the ideal Earth temperature is. Because if the Earth is supposed to be 70 degrees, that means there's no ice caps.
Yep.
That means the polar bears are dead. Right? No deserts. So, I mean, there's a reason why we have all these different environments, the jungles and the deserts and the ice mountains, and right? There's a reason for it. That's how the Earth maintains itself. But if the ideal temperature, and they can't say because, okay, let's say it's 72 degrees. Well, who gets to be 72 degrees and who doesn't? Who's going to be the other end of the spectrum that has to suffer for us to be healthy and have our nice, beautiful weather constantly?
I vote China. Oh wait, that wasn't what you meant. My bad.
Yeah, well, they do have crab rangoon in China. I'm torn on that one.
Yeah.
Orty, I am not stealing your shtick. I don't even want to touch your stick.
Neither does anybody else. There's been too many moms on it.
You go back, take your stick to Circle K. But it just, you listen to them, they don't know what they're talking about. I remember there was the meme, and I saw it again. Somebody's like, all we needed was 25,000 acres of solar power, solar panels, and we could power the U.S. And I'm like, no.
not only no, but hell to the no.
Well, the thing is 25,000 acres of solar panels is not going to give us the 6.2 terawatts that we need daily.
1.21 gigawatts. Great Scott. Oh wait, sorry.
I mean, the amount of power that we have to consume, that we consume in the U.S. can't be made up with solar power or wind power. Plus the fact that, although I do want them to keep pushing it because I love watching the Sierra Club and the Greenies fight. You're killing birds, you're killing the turtles, but it's saving the environment.
If one's killing the birds, the other was killing the turtles, who the hell is actually saving the environment? That's my question.
Well, just like we're saving the environment with our Teslas. Just ignore that lithium strip mine.
Hey, the only reason I would say that I wouldn't necessarily mind having a Tesla is I watched one of the videos of him showing the damn thing driving itself, and I was like, I really want that. I've wanted that since I was 8 years old watching Knight Rider. I really, really want that. But then I was kind of freaked out today because I saw a video and I screen captured it and posted it to X because it was a reel on Facebook. And it was this Australian chick talking about what amounts to a Johnny Cab without the talking robot in it. And it's basically a completely self-driving car. There's nobody in it. It's got enough seats for like 4 people. And there's cameras, so there's people that are actually live monitoring you, etc. But the damn thing just drives itself around, and it's basically like an Uber. And you call it with an app. I don't know.
I've seen what happens with Johnny Cab. No, I'm good.
Well, my next question though is, since Johnny Cab is real, when do we get the 3-breasted women?
Z, you know what your job is.
Andrew's got nothing on that one. He's like, I'm not even touching that. And my wife might be listening right now. I'm not touching that.
No, she's not listening. But, 3-breasted women, I'm for it.
Zelda, you might want to edit that post. Actually, you can't because it's a tag. I didn't make you Gen Z by proxy. I made you Gen X by proxy. You're already Gen Z.
She's not Gen Z.
Technically,
she's her own generation. Gen I for imp. Gen S for short. Oh. So, what other plans you got for the 4th?
Well, I think I'm probably going to get some small stuff to do with Gracie and Jess and Dave tomorrow, because we do our big 4th of July always like the weekend after, because that's when everybody just goes nuts and buys all the shit when it's like half price and 50%, 75% off. And then we all get together on a Saturday night because nobody's got to go to work the next day. And just once it gets dark, just blow things up until everything runs out. And it usually goes till 2 or 3 in the morning. So it'll be a fun time had by all. But I think we're going to probably do a smaller one here first.
Got any Tannerite?
Not this year. We did last year. I don't know if they will at my son's. They may, because he's a big fan of Tannerite. So, but no, I don't have any currently.
I couldn't buy any Tannerite C4. I'm so disappointed.
They wouldn't let you buy C4. Did you remind them of the Second Amendment?
I tried.
The Second Amendment says you're supposed to have access to anything the military can have access to.
That's why Elon has really disappointed me. Totally disappointed me. Why doesn't he sell more fire? Why are not flamethrowers?
I don't know.
He had the $250 flamethrowers. Why isn't he selling them anymore?
Where did those go?
He sold like 100 of them, 200 of them. That was it. And it's like, really? Come on, dude.
He sold them to his 100 closest friends and told everybody else to fuck off. That's funny.
Although I did see, was it you that posted? Somebody posted that you could buy a $10,000 flame-throwing dog now, and all I'm thinking is, who's a good boy? I'd love to have a flame-throwing dog.
I think that was Brad that posted that, actually. I think
it may have been. So, well, it's getting about that time. You got Stacy online?
Yeah, not yet. We will in a second. We start in a couple minutes. So where can folks find you?
They can find me on the Twitter at Nuke MM1 Retired. You can find me here whenever Rick needs a idiot to fill the chair that doesn't make fart noises, because Orty makes fart noises. And and possibly next week I'll be filling in again for the Conservative Curmudgeon, unless G decides he's going to do a show this week, that week.
Yeah, I think he's planning on trying to be back next week, but we'll see.
Okay, no, that's fine. I as I said, if he's not, and I can fill in. And you can find me at the end of the month, last Wednesday every month, doing Toxic Masculinity with you, G, Orty, our lovely bar babe Aggie, and a babe of the month. And I'm not sure who we're going to get for a babe this month.
I don't know. Somebody else's turn. That's all I know.
And we need to get somebody that's at least taller than our waist.
She's gonna stab you later. You know that, right?
Maybe we can find a hot Tua girl.
Oh yeah,
giggity.
Corin Nimmick wrote a poem about that earlier. I'm still dying. All right. Anyway, we should probably get out of here so I can go connect with Stacy and try to move on to the next one. You guys enjoy
Yes,
the rest
sir.
of your night. Hang out with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back live with whatever. I know the scheduling's a little different tonight, so whatever coming up next. Foo Bar after that. Me and Orty for your nightcap. So hang out for just a bit, and Stacy and I'll get the feeds back up in just a second.
Thanks, guys.
I am Groot.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Here's to us, here's to love, all the times that we messed up. Here's to you, feel the grass, 'cause the last few nights have kicked my ass. And thinking of your help, time go fuck themselves. Here's to us, 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 here's to love, here's to everybody well. Here's to us, here's to love, here's to us, here's to